today I'm going to do a video on my sketchbook because I made a whole new body of work on it. And this is the one I worked on in, I think, June, July, and I showed, there's a video about this one. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. And then there's this one that I just did. I'm using all these pictures. I have a home for these pictures in the sense of I'm going to be using them for installation, for, not installation, it's going to be a picture of all these, of 25 of these pictures. It's going to be at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts starting October 6th. And it's kind of the sacred feminine. It's about women. And my picture's called And You Are. And so it's all pictures of women, and I have descriptions of them on the picture. I have a title on the picture. I will post a link to I have a new website as well, and I'll post a link to, if you want to see the pictures in all their glory, I will post a link to that video. So here's where I started. The month prior to that, I had been doing this sort of thing. I've been doing just doing black and white pictures, pencil pictures on white paper. And I really learned a lot by doing this. I had never done it before, so it was great. And I have a video about this. And then some of the pictures I actually used in this journal, and here's one of them. In fact, it's right here in the front. Only I colorized it. And this was the black and white, and then I colorized it. I'm going to do a video about this process that I did from here to here. It was really, really interesting, and it turned out beautifully. So I want to do that, another video on that. So what we're going to do now today is just do a simple walkthrough of the journal. And if something strikes me, I'll mention it. But I think this could generate a lot of other videos about my process. It was mostly collage and watercolor, but then I went into gesso and Posca pens and inks, and I ended up trying different medium. But I did start out with just very simple. Now there's Posca in this. Sometimes I went back and finished up the pasta. Now what we're going to do here is, I don't know how we're going to show this. So here's my first two pictures. They're not my first, actually, and now these are not my first two pictures. My first two pictures are sort of in the middle of the book. I'll show them, I'll show you what they were, and then you can see where how I changed. So it's mostly figures on collage, over collage. And we just walk through them really quickly. They're all very different. This is I learned a lot about gesso from doing this one. This was a later face. This one is called Artist, and she's one of my favorites. They were all so much fun to do. And some were fails. This one, in my mind, is a fail. I'm not sure why I don't care for this. But I don't care for it that much. So this one was a really good one. This was interesting. This one was another one I don't care for that much. This didn't make it into the installation painting or work. So here we are with another one. Great, the face is really interesting, but the background on this, I love this background. So I started developing not only the collaging, but how to get the collage integrate with the figure. So I was working a lot on that. And we see that in this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. They were all like integrated over the collage. I will do a video on the process. The collaging you do first, and then when you want to put a figure or a face in it, you just kind of put the gesso down in the face figure, the oval, and then you work over it. A lot of this is done with pencil, pen, and watercolors. I fell in love with watercolors because you get all this dimension with watercolors, the light and the dark. And this just by adding more water to it. And I want to show that in a video as well. If you don't know about, if you don't realize what's going on with watercolor. Watercolor is so much fun to use. You think of watercolor as not being vibrant enough, but it's quite vibrant actually. And quite, it kind of paints itself, especially with the shadowing and the blooming and all that. And this particular, this journal is just paper, very smooth paper, good for pencil. This is watercolor paper, so it takes a lot of beating, and it kind of needs to take a lot of beating because you're putting, I ended up putting a lot of medium on some of these things. And so here we have another 4. Now, as I gave him all names, titles, which you'll see in the link below. Here's another 4. This is one of my favorite. I don't, when I start these, I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't have a plan in mind unless I have, like this is a picture I saw and I copied the picture. I didn't copy the picture, I just drew it in because it was a pretty simple picture. I'm kind of like a goth girl, you know, that was kind of fun. These two were just hand-drawn. This one was hand-drawn. This one here was just a drawing. There is, she has red lips, you wouldn't notice it. It's a Sheely. I love his art. And the Sheely, it actually goes like this. This is the picture. There's got this thing on the side. This girl was hand-drawn after I looked at a video about doing faces. I will talk about this, and also I will show the video that, or give links to the video that helped me draw this. These two women I drew at the same time. They didn't have reference. There was no reference. I just drew them. I drew this one first, and it was very off. It was very off proportion. The nose was really long, and it was very odd, to be honest with you. Still, I continued to work on it, and then I said, well, let me try one that's more proportional, and I went to this one, and this one turned out a lot better. And so it's very similar. I think this turned out better. But then I put glasses on both of them, which was, you know, because you see glasses on, you know, women and stuff. And it turns out after I put the glasses on them, this became more proportional and this seemed to get weird. And I think that's because it covered some of her nose. Accidental, something I learned accidentally. I'm going to do a video on this character, these characters. So this was a picture that I saw online that I drew. It turned out great. And then I just started drawing without reference. This was a non-referential picture. This was a non-referential picture. Now, you notice the legs are really off on her. And there's a trick to doing legs, and I'm going to show you that in a video because I bought this book that an art teacher, published for children, and I learned right away how to do it. It's so easy, it's mind-boggling. So I'm going to do another video about that. That's what this marker's here for. Did I put the marker in here? This, I think this was from one of my paintings. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess not. Maybe I just drew that. Let's see, where are we now? Okay. This was a strange panel. Now, this was my first panel that I did. And you can see, you know, I progressed. I moved along the food chain here. This was an accidental painting that turned out really well. And these were all hand-drawn. This is my second painting. This was my first painting. And these two were paintings. This was a painting I did of Joni Mitchell, and this that I tried to do again. This and this, I used this as a reference for this. Only I moved her hand for some reason, which was good. Yeah, I'm not crazy about these pictures. Some pictures turned out really well. I love this. I love this. This one here was another picture from that month-long bit. Let's see where she is. here. It's a great face to use. And the thing about watercolors, because I had the shading already in the picture, when I photocopied it, I printed it up, and I took the picture and I put it on the page, just the face, and then I just added watercolor to it. And it because it's transparent, it didn't, you got the shading so beautifully in this picture because it was already in this picture. Something to remember when you're doing, you know, simple black and whites. After I did this, what made me do this was, after I did all my black and white, I said, well, I want to start adding color. So I ended up doing this one. I started working with faces a little bit, and then I did something else. I did this one. And I said, well, you know, these aren't great, but I mean, this shows me maybe I should start trying this. So from these two pictures, I ended up doing this one here. But these were after I finished my 30 days of sketching. Anyway, so we'll get back to this. Let's keep going. I ended up doing quite a bit of pictures. Now this one was interesting. This was using acrylic inks. Oh, they're such beautiful colors. They're all jewel tones and they're beautiful. I know I worked with the blue, and I think I worked with the blue and the yellow and maybe the red, the purpley one color. And I only ended up using this for the installation, but I came up with some interesting ways of doing actual figures. What I did was I just laid all the paint down, and then I kind of saw something in it, and then I outlined it. So these women, these rocks, and these, well, I drew them, the crowd in, but everything else was kind of, I outlined. It was kind of like negative painting. That was kind of fun. Okay, this is more, okay, this is another one of more of the acrylic inks, where I just put them all over. In fact, what I was doing is I dropped the inks in, not for this one, I dropped the inks in, and then I closed it, and then I opened it, and then it was all over the place. And then I figured, well, I'll let the inks, all the colors of the inks be the headdresses or the hair. And then I did that, and then I did the grading and behind it, sort of dramatic. Another, this was green, red, and I think there's some yellow in here, and yellow, yeah, yellow, I did yellow. Again, acrylic inks, and I did it, all this, just laid it out, dropped it, did it, whatever, and then I did one of these things, and then I had these designs, abstract designs, and then I put in the face. You can put the face on anything with gesso. You can just mark where you want to put a face and lay down some gesso. Gesso is my new friend. Here's another panel. Now at this point, I started getting tired. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think I have enough, because I knew what I wanted. When I was halfway through this journal, I knew what I wanted to do for the installation. I wanted to do women's faces, and I wanted to have a woman's face to be something like this is, the face for this woman is Survivor. The face for this, the title for this one is Survivor. The title for this one is Iconoclast. The title for this one is Artist. The title for this one is Sprite. So I'm using, I started titling them. Now, this is when I started getting tired. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I had started working on the actual putting together the piece. So I'm going to do another video about this person here. This person is a very quick sketch I did after I read like 3 pages of the book from this teacher, artist, writer. Just fascinating how to do figures so easily and so quickly that are in proportion. So I'm going to do a video about this, and then talk about this one, and then where I went wrong on this one, because this one, how I went wrong here. There's a little trick to do it properly, to make this look like this. Now, it's not a great picture, but the proportions are there. And it's just an easy little trick. I'm going to show you in another video. So let's see. So then started getting a little discouraged. I was getting tired. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't use any of these pictures. Then I started working on the figures because then I got the book and I started working with the book. And you see how these are all very active type pictures, and they're so easy to do. It's so easy to do. I'm sure if you've taken an art class, you've already learned about this, but I didn't. I never taken an art class, so I don't know. Now, what's in the link below as far as the picture that I'm presenting, the work I'm presenting to the Arts Fest, Lakeshore Center for the Arts, that's all these earlier pictures. This is my newest work, and I call this Organics. And so these are landscape. These are, just love these colors. These are my colors, this deep, dark, rich jewel tones, adding a little blue here. I'm not sure they're all done yet, but this is the, a moon sort of thing. This is a midnight garden. This is a bird, a twilight or something. Then there's this person here. Now, after I did this, I said, well, I should have another theme for women. And I was thinking, oh, I'll do the muses, the Greek muses, Calliope, and there's a lot. There's 9 of them. And this was going to be Calliope. And then after I did it, I liked it, but I'm like, I think I want to do a modern Calliope, and I want to do modern muses. So I wasn't sure about the dress. Anyways, and then in the last 2 days, I've been doing this. Now what this is just bare bones, how you start. I started first just laying down papers with the gel medium, and it's just laying down papers. Now I had the same color tones. It was the same colors within the same colors color family. And then yesterday I just started throwing down some buff and some unbleached white over it, and I scraped it, and then I did some marks, and then I did some gesso. Now, gesso is great for priming bare paper, but it's great for on top as well, because it gives it this depth to painting. So you don't see the whole thing, you see part of it, then it goes kind of deeper. And it's cool. And then yesterday I did do another woman here. She's not done yet because she's very water paled out. I have this. I want to do another video on her. I'm sorry I didn't do the video of doing her, but I cleaned up a lot in the picture. Even if I didn't clean it up with gesso or with paints or with inks or with water, I'm sort of curious if an eraser will get rid of this line. I'm not sure what that line is. I think it's one of these lines. I'm wondering if I can erase that. So I'll test that out. So I'd like to do, this is generating a lot of ideas for future videos. Not, how I did it, if you're interested, the products I used to do them, the reference materials I used as far as books that would help me or videos that help me. I would like to share those with you. And then, just my general process. I'd like to do one also live, which would be fun. Because I've done so many now, I'm pretty sure I can do one live. They take about anywhere, 20 minutes, a half an hour to do, depending on how I do them. But yeah, it doesn't take long to do. They're all different because they just are. Well, that is my latest journal, and I will put a link below for you to see all the pictures in all their glory, because I also set them up. What I did with the pictures is I also took pictures of them, put them through Procreate, a graphics program, cleaned them up a little bit, did a little zhuzhing with the color and the saturation to make a pretty print. And then I made a print that I'm selling the prints of and I'm mounting them a certain way, and I'm going to show you how I do all that. I was first, because this is a journal, and I have both sides. I mean, there's nothing for sale here because I would lose half my product if I you wanted one, you'd actually get two, and then, I don't know, what's the point of that? So this is good for taking if you want to learn how to take your journal work and make them into a product. I'll be showing how I did it. And I use Procreate. If you have an iPad and you don't have Procreate, you really should get it, because it's a fantastic graphics program that's only $10. It's lifetime, and it really does a beautiful, beautiful job. There's a little bit of a learning curve in the beginning, but after you get that down, you're ready to go. You can do all kinds of filters. You can add all kinds of, different editing kind of stuff. Like something like this. The face is very small, and you could certainly clean up this face with a fine point pen. You could certainly do that, especially if you get a magnifying glass and you get the right materials. You can definitely clean this up. But I just took a picture of this and I put it through Procreate, and I could clean up the face a little bit, make the eyes brighter, and so that when you have the finished print, you have a much more vibrant print. I'll talk about the paper I use. I have a HP printer, so it's nice if you have one of those HP laser printer, gorgeous prints. And then what I learned from doing this and doing this installation that I'm going to be putting out there is the paper makes such a difference. I'll share what kind of paper I have. I don't know what it is. I think it's photographic paper. It's just gorgeous. It's not matte. It's like a satin finish. The colors are gorgeous. It's just beautiful, beautiful printer. And if you have the right paper. So that's my current video, and there's more to come. So if you're interested in this, if there's something you want to know, put it in the comments and I'll answer your questions, or I'll make a video of the answer. Okay, the dog is whining, and that's it for me today. Have a great day.